Good morning, traders. It's Peter Thompson, senior mentor of 1 Billion Signal, sponsored by Merit Forex. Such a weekend we got, guys, especially for those who are trading cryptos. Bitcoin cuts nearly 22% for a couple of hours on Saturday, but right now recovered half of it. But I think that was definitely very intensive. Many things we've been expecting this week. The next one as well. Quickly to remind you, the interest rates, Federal Reserve interest rates will be released next week. This one we have core CPI, but we're gonna get to there. So let's get started with the US dollar. US dollar is pushing higher. We can see sharp correction soon, practically speaking, to see correction to the upside of the major currency pairs and the US dollar to get down. There is something we call Christmas rally. Christmas is coming, and so called the rally with its S&P 500 American indices is practically very possible to see push to the upside as well. On the calendar, we have on Tuesday Australia. Australia is releasing the interest rates. Bank of Australia, of course. Tomorrow, Bank of New Zealand already increased it. Let's see, according to the news, the Bank of Australia is going to keep the same interest rates. This is going to happen 3:30 a.m. GMT. But until then, we don't know what's going to happen. But most probably before Christmas, they will keep the Australian dollar stable. Bank of Canada is supposed to keep the interest rates same. According to the news, the release will be 3 p.m. GMT time for the Canadian dollar, of course. Job openings report we have the same time for US. That's not the most volatile event, I would say, but it's good enough. Wednesday, we got also crude oil inventories. Crude oil is rebounding from the major support. We're gonna take a look in about a minute. But it's very, very interesting because even for potential opportunity. So Biden last week actually announced they are going to put 60 million barrels on the market just to push the price down, because high price of crude oil during the winter is definitely not very healthy for the economy and for the people in general. So they did it, and we've seen huge drop on the markets, something that was quite we've been expecting it just because the crude oil anyway was holding a very, very high price according to the low demand. US inflation report, the event of the week, definitely. Federal Reserve Chairman Powell says they are planning to increase the interest rates without waiting the inflation to correct, which is very, very important. As you know, we all know, it was about temporary. The inflation is temporary. It's gonna correct. Powell was repeating and repeating that, but right now he changed the tone last week, and they simply say, we are going to start interest rate hikes next year. Of course, it's not gonna be December. I'm gonna be super surprised to see interest rate hikes this December, even if the inflation stays high. So in general, from the economical calendar, that's it. Let's take a look what's going on the charts. Super interesting charts. We have Euro US dollar 1.1283. It's still, we have 1.13. It's strong support that was created very long time back. So right now we've been waiting to see how the price is going to react, but this is important level for the Euro US dollar. Quickly to remind you, US dollar is pushing higher. That's what's pushing actually the majors is going down, but very soon we can see push to the upside. GBP USD following the euro, pretty normal. Absolutely, we don't have strong support level here, 1.3233. Oh, exactly the same with the euro, expecting big push to the upside. Absolutely possible, 1.3352. That's gonna be an obstacle for the GBP USD. The next resistance we have 1.3411. We talk about 60-70 pips away from the lower resistance, but until 1.3352 there is nothing to stop the GBP growing. Australian USD, Tuesday is the interest rate, and that's why 0.71 absolutely possible. We talk about 90 pips away from the current price of the Australian dollar, even though there is nothing to support the Australian. I'm, to be honest with you, a little bit surprised to see breakout of this support level, especially in Australia. Australia is a country with relatively speaking, very low percentage of COVID cases, and that's what's supposed to make the country super stable economically, but not obviously their currency, which is quite surprising. And I've been expecting to see the Australian dollar skyrocketing very soon. New Zealand, exactly the same. Big sharp drop, $65 per. I'm sorry, 65 pips, 0.6753 is the current price. We have one new resistance level that I'm going to put here, 0.68 round number. Also, I was very surprised to see breakout of this level, especially so hot, and recovery to 0.68 is absolutely possible. Going to USD Canadian immediately, but first let's take a look at crude oil. Crude, guys, is insane, absolutely, and super interesting. 65.20. We've predicted that drop. I'm shouting out this drop for since it was 80 around these levels here. Absolutely, exactly the same pattern. Recovery, big drop, recovery, big drop. Exactly the same like here. Even it was much bigger. This is what we talk about when US, of course, champion the game. This is what's happening. $10 per barrel for 1 day drop. It was absolutely insane. Right now the price is holding $68 per barrel. I've been waiting to see how it's gonna react. A little bit like to see the price going up and down around, ranging around these levels is pretty possible. Another test of 65.19 is also possible, or a sharp push to the upside. Everything can happen from here. I am right now I'm not gonna remain bearish. I've been looking to buy crude oil from here after such a drop, of course, even though there is still chance to go even further down to 61.77. I would take the risk. It's not a problem anyway, because the odds here are to the upside. USD Canadian, if we see the crude oil pushing up, Canadian up, USD CAD, perfect level of shorting. USD Canadian 1.2823, in very fast test of 1.2688, 1.2623, and after that, who knows, 1.2466 is absolutely possible. Here, if you take a look, USD Canadian dollar is tend to make such a to have such a price behavior, and Canadian interest rate decision is anyway on Wednesday, so this is going to give direction to the USD Canadian. USD Swiss franc, one of my favorites, as you already know. I'm always mentioning that. USD Swiss, big push to the downside, 150 pips. After that, a slight correction, push to the downside, slight correction, and guess what? With 0.91 is my target for the USD Swiss. Right now, US dollar is pushing up. It's absolutely normal after such a drop, 180, 200 pips. Slight correction to the upside, push to the downside. We just have to hunt for good entries. USD Japan, currency pair that I am very cautious about, would say, because there is no not a big logic to see the USD Japanese yen pushing up. Its dollar is anyway not getting so strong. In my opinion, it shouldn't, because the Federal Reserve is still printing money, still pushing money to the market, still the inflation is very high, so we have a lot of obstacles to see the US dollar going up, continuing going up. So that's why I definitely think USD Japan is going to make significant push. One quick recovery to the upside, pretty possible, one of these levels, 113.59. I'm just gonna move these levels to new resistance levels, this one and this one, so all the way up we can see the USD Japan recovering to the downside. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Really hope you enjoyed these videos. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, share us and like us on the social medias. This is how you support our YouTube channel, of course. Invite your friends to watch. It's free content anyway. If you want to reach me, you know how to do so. Have a very profitable week and expect my new video on Wednesday. Bye bye.